Happy days, episode 2 of the Gullwing project. Last time we opened up in the front. This week, the real fight begins, the rear. It isn't just metal, it's muscle memory, patience, and precision. Every curve back here matters, and aluminium doesn't forgive mistakes. We're building it from scratch, no molds, no shortcuts, just hand tools, feel, and hours and hours and hours of shaping. So if these panels look simple, trust me, they're not, but you can do it. Let's get into it. And we've got a good portion of the rear end shaped, wheeled, smooth, fitting our gauges, corner. They actually went smoothly. No, didn't kick my ass too much at all. Little bit of shrink, little bit of stretch, wheeled it clean, bent it to fit the gauges. Happy days, it's fitting. But on the other hand, what absolutely made me fight, cry, and work for it was this quarter. So, started shaping it, bending, shrink. Thought, hey, we're nearly there. Checked on the gauges and said, cool, needs a bit more stretch. Stretched it some more. Checked it again, needs a bit more stretch. In short, 4 days later, we have a panel. Needed a whole bunch more stretch in the center than I anticipated. From afterwards, thinking about where I went wrong is didn't shrink the edges enough, which caused me to stretch the center a lot more. Why that made me fight is because it's quite flat, and I got to stretch it while keeping it flat, which is always a bugger. But we're there now, and this is what we got. Smooth. We're going to do it. We're going to throw together one rear quarter of the car. So what we're doing now is starting to shape this panel. We can see it's nothing dramatic. It's just a little bit of stretch, a little bit of shrink on the ends. Wheel it nice and smooth. It's going to come around real quick. What we're doing is we're going to add, not 100% sure how we're going on our B-posts here. So I'm going to add probably 50 mils. Then on the back here where we have overlap, we can see all these panels, they overlap each other. 20, 30, 40 mils. We're going to do the exact same thing here. That way we're able to tweak after we weld it and make them flow. It's just good to do on these wooden bikes to ensure the car flows. So let's get to it. So we know now, we can see on our 2 scribe lines, whoopee. We need to do some shrink. So just grab our panel, give it the good luck wiggle. Come to the good old egg hold and start shrinking. There we go, yappa. We have our panel shrunk, but it's bending in the complete wrong direction now. So all we do is we go to the rubber wheel on the wheel. We bend it this way, which is going to cause our edges to come up as we straighten the panel, and then probably do some more shrink, stretch, and definitely more shrink and stretch. So we can see as we wheel the panel back and forth and it bends it more, how it's straightening out, not even slightly, it's straightening out a lot, which is what we want. Okay, so all we need now is our panels too straight. It's rocking like crazy. All we're gonna do is it's touching here, it's touching there, so we're gonna shrink it. That's gonna bring back around, bring the front around, bring the center up in the slightest. Then we wheel it clean, get out the shrinking marks for the most part, and then go the power hammer and possibly block it a little bit. So all we've done now is a little bit of a fulcrum bend and a hell of a lot of shrink on the air cold. It leaves all these stipple marks that pretty much stay until the end. You can do a bunch of filing and get them out, but you can also do this in a stump with a tucking fork or just a hammer and shrink it. But it's almost impossible to compete with the time of an air cold where you can just do it in literal seconds, shrink in, out, in, out. The only downside is it leaves these little stippled marks, but on a painted car, that's no biggie. Primer's gonna fill that and more. So happy days. That's what we got after 6 hours. We have a panel that looks like it's fitting, but if you had a look from the backside, miles and miles and miles away. So yeah, just thought I'd give an update 6 hours in. Next time you see it, it'll most likely be done, wheeled, shaped, smooth, fitting the gauges and flowing. But that's where we're leaving off for now. Boom, boom, boom. So we ran into a bit of a problem with the buck doors. So I've stopped there and I'm contradicting myself a little bit here and changing the game plan. Instead of bringing this panel all the way through to our B posts, we got a fitting here, finished up, and then this last little section, once we've got the doors sorted and our gaps done along with the edges, you could call them, then we'll just do this last little section, quick 1-2, weld in, minimal time lost, a little bit more extra effort, but we can have the rear end wrapped up and just waiting on the doors, not have to worry about other shenanigans or think you did something and then you didn't when you get back there in 3 months' time. So yeah, that's where we're at now. So we're busy on the rear scuttle at the moment. What we're going to do is weld these two pieces together. Tried making it in one, but that morning I got a jab, left hook. Yeah, 3 pieces of scrap metal in 10 minutes because it's got the slightest of reverse that runs around here. So trying to do it in one whole piece, get it through the wheel, just wasn't working. I was just making scrap metal after scrap metal. So I decided to split it in 2, made it fairly quick, fairly easy. So all we're going to do now is mark it. How are we going to do that? Just come with the Koki. Wham bam. Now we're going to trim extremely close to that line before we do our final scribe mark. This is just letting us know that when they're sitting on top of each other, they're as close to they can be, and it's not pressing up the back of this one or pressing down the middle of this one, but they're in their natural shape. Trimmed up and almost ready to weld. So all I'm going to do now is put 3 scribe lines across the 2 panels so I know, hey, if it moves, I can instantly see, oh, there's an indication something's wrong somewhere. Then from there I can go to problem solve. So I always like this. I'm going to tack it on the car, so we almost don't need them, but it's still nice to have a visible cue to know, hey, I messed up, let's rethink this, something went wrong somewhere. So we just go on. 2, 3. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. Welder up. So when welding panels together, I like to make my own welding rods so I know the base material and the filler rod is the exact same material. So I've got some 5000 series here. All I'm going to do is cut on the stomp shear, try and make it square. So this is 1.5 millimeter thick. I'm going to go 1.5 millimeter wide, and there we go, 3 filler rods. So scrap metal, going to throw it away most likely, so make something with it. Boom! Free welding rods. That's how I do it. Don't throw your scrap away, just go and weld with it. So always clean your rods after you cut them with some acetone and your part you're going to be welding. Just go top to bottom, rotate it 90 degrees, 90 degrees, happy days. There we go, nice and clean, troubles erased. So this is what you want. Clamp your panels on one side and they line up 100%. These 2 panels look like they're absolutely different shapes, but that's just because I've made them 2 different ways. This one I wheeled the whole thing, so it's got a bit more of a shine. This one's dull because I wheeled only where I needed to. I was just experimenting, playing around. But gauges, they don't lie, it's all the same shape. So what I've got now is 6 tacks, 6 tacks. All I'm doing is I'm going to grind the backside down nice and flush. The top I'm going to grind down 90% of it, and then just crush it a little bit. And then we're going to go and blast it with a full weld. So what I use to grind the bulk of the weld away is just a little 3-inch, what would you call it, angle grinder, die grinder. neither really, 3-inch disc grinder, and then a little bit of soap, use that to break down the majority of it. Then I'll feather the top side a little bit with one of these little abrasive discs. Then it just makes it nice and fast for cleaning and filing. All right, we're getting close, real close. Most of the panels for the rear of the car are shaped up, fitting and flowing. Boom! That's a wrap for this one. But don't go too far, because next time we're jumping into the sills and the boot. And let me tell you, the sills are going to be a proper battle. You've got shape on the bottom and flat on the sides. And trying to keep it flat while pulling it around, that's where things get spicy. These panels still have a few highs and lows, but that's part of the game. Once it's all welded up, we'll be chasing every ripple and wave, metal finishing it to damn near perfection, with clean file marks and razor straight light lines. So, if you're into real craftsmanship, old school panel work, and watching a full body come to life, like the video, drop a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on this one. It's going to be dirty, tricky, and damn satisfying. See you then.